to this moment. Now it is back to Richo and Jones.
Gonya, thank you, Sharon. You would be, of course, again this week very upset. The polls again are just rubbish.
That's an important point that Sharon just made there. We're very rarely, well, you're very rarely serious, but if we can make a serious comment, I mean, there are people who have really copped it in the last several days over this wind. I mean, South Australia, Victoria, you heard there that the Yarra River broke its banks. I mean, there are 50,000 people without electricity in Victoria. The Southern Highlands region here, in places like Robertson and Mittagong, have had houses unroofed. It's been horrendous. The wind chill in parts of New South Wales, when added to the normal temperature, brought degrees today at minus 22. Now, that's pretty cold. You're sitting around here with a snivelling nose. You wouldn't be worth two bob in that. The good thing about it, though, is the wind and the chill doesn't strike at Vaucluse. Where do you live?
But my place of residence is irrelevant.
Yeah, but if you pay $6 million for a house,
I did not pay $6 million for a house. This is ridiculous.
Now, you want to talk about the polls? I can't let you miss. Have a go. Here I am.
Okay.
Do your best.
53-47, both major polls in total agreement. You're in a lot of trouble.
No, I'm in total agreement with you. Australia wants Bill back. They want all this damage.
Because he wasn't there before. They want him in.
They want all this damage to be revisited. They want the debt to go up.
He won't do that.
They want the interest rate that we have to pay, the interest bill that we have to pay to increase.
He won't let that happen.
I'm going to tell you.
Bill will be the guardian.
I'm telling you before. Pull an election on and present the damage that Labor's done to this country, and they'll be wiped out again as they were last time.
I just show you don't read my columns, because last Friday in the Australian I actually wrote that while the polls say, and I believe correctly, if an election was held Saturday, Labor would win. Elections aren't held in the absence of a 5-week campaign, and I still believe Labor could not win an election.
I do read your column, and I keep a bottle of tin of Salvital beside me as I read the column.
It should be the one time during the week when you get some education, when you learn something.
You borrow things from me to put them in the column.
Oh, you want me to talk about what I borrowed? You want me to do that, don't you? Because, I thought you never wanted to be seen to be criticising the Prime Minister. You said, I am guilty. Now, I'm putting my hands up here. I'm guilty of plagiarism. Dead set plagiarism, because this great man here the other day, he and I were chatting after the show. We said they can have a drink and relax, and he said, he used this line about how one baby shouldn't be worth more than another, but I assumed he didn't want to be known as being a critic of the Prime Minister and his program, and so I have a paper and a leave, so far be it from me to quote him. But now, if he wants to acknowledgement, I acknowledge it. I stole the line.
There you are.
I deferred. Mind you, I dressed it up and did it much better than you, didn't I? Still, your idea.
The Prime Minister addressed that issue today in Parliament about paying parental leave and Tanya Plibersek and others, but there we are. Look, I think one issue that gets, because we're all talking about the budget, you're overwhelmed with all of this, what I don't understand, and this is a very major issue that's got very little public airing, it seems that politicians don't know the difference between foreign ownership and foreign investment. We're all in favour of foreign investment, but are we in favour of foreign entities owning almost all our energy resources, all our sugar resources, almost every dairy farm in Victoria? Or if you take parts of the Liverpool Plains, China owns the bulk of that there. If you take the Bailong Valley, the South Koreans have bought a lot of it. Now, there was to be an audit of all of this, and one of the Abbott government's promises, or opposition promises, was that we would present an audited statement by the Foreign Investment Review Board of all the ownership of agricultural land in Australia by foreign entities. Haven't got it.
Well, that's just another broken promise. There are so many of them.
There's another one delivered this one yet. And the reason being, most probably, that there are supposed to be sensitive talks with China at the end of the year on a free trade agreement. Now, are we frightened of alienating China if we change the rules in relation to foreign investment? Now, in New Zealand, you can't buy something over $5 million without having to be approved. Here, the limit is $250 million. They pay $5 million for a dairy farm here, $3 million for another there, $4 million, and they finish up only a lot.
It's not just the little farms. What about the mines? It's not just China. India is now buying up very, very big chunks of our energy.
The Galilee Basin. Right. You've got South Korea down here in the Southern Highlands. And where do you put what I want to know is, where do you put the full stop in? At what point do you say, well, once you sell the country, you don't own the country, it doesn't matter who runs the country. Now, at what point do you say, well, enough's enough? It seems no one's prepared to put in the full stop, just let them keep buying it up. And Tasmania, Prime agricultural land in Western Victoria has been sold to the Qatari government, for God's sake. Prime agricultural land. Now, no one seems to care. I think there has to be a difference between foreign investment and foreign ownership. It seems politicians aren't interested in differentiating.
I actually think you're right. I don't like saying this, but I think you're right. We are in heated agreement. Yes, you are right. Brilliantly put, and I agree with you.
Brilliantly put too.
Brilliantly put. It was actually very good. I couldn't have done better myself. Now, I can't give you higher praise. Now, we've got to come back with the Prime Minister, but we do need to have a break. We'll be back in just a moment.